Hello everyone, welcome to the day one for the training, a new batch, July 2020, automation testing, Selenium. And I put dots because primarily with the word Selenium, we're talking about so many other things. So if in the world of QA, if in the world of automation, even if you're looking at DevOps or you are a developer, or let us say you are a CI/CD, you will hear this because as a concept, as a tool, it has become one of the most open source tools. And I'm not trying to introduce you, team, to what Selenium is as a tool and history of it, but just the fact that when we talk about Selenium, there's a lot of expectations that we have. And for me, the way I'm doing things, team, is I want to ensure all the trainings that we will go through, and I know what topics we will cover, how we're going to go through. It's going to be very, very interesting, team, this time. Each batch, that's my effort to make things more and more interesting, more and more current with what's happening in today's market. So we will improvise, we will come to it. But most importantly, these become fundamentally the questions that are in the back of the mind for a lot of us. And these questions are outliers for us. Like, can I learn coding Selenium by a specific date? I just gave 15th August because this training will end around that date. But that's a task. That's an activity that you need to think. You need to set your expectations and deadlines. So that is what a program will. You stick with the program, you go with the schedule. While you go to our new website, go.ITeLearn.com, there are plenty of trainings that you can see that we have published. And it's easy to go through the video trainings, team. Definitely not a problem. The main thing about live webinars is the fact not about interaction. Or query in answers. I know I wanted to get started with Selenium. I'm still in this FAQs because I want you to know why you should learn Selenium. Okay, why it is important for us to learn Selenium where we are. Okay, not so much about interactions or querying answers. We talk, just to recap once again. So we're talking about expectations. Why you should set deadlines so you can work towards some goals that belong to you. A program, so you're motivated, so it is driven already. There are team and others who involve it, so you're bound to keep connecting with them and so on. And the live webinars, this is about the live sessions. Why do you have to be a part of live session? Not so much about interaction or querying or answers, and it's like export. It is a lot because of the fact that you continue without a break, be it through videos. So it's like a drip content. You get one video after the other, and so on. 70% of the viewers, in fact 75% these days, my viewers, in these are my stats of ITeLearn, are video only viewers. They don't really get a chance to watch live webinars. So the reason I'm saying is set up a timeline. I'm talking a lot about ITeLearn. I don't want to in this session, and it is doable. I know big thing about coding. I know that you have Selenium and the related tools with it. But in the way we need to learn, you have to be extremely smart about it. It is not possible for us to complete in one iteration. You need to do 2 to 3 repetitions. So for some of you, if you think that it is too much, then please be ready to work hard a little bit. But once you do that, then you can talk about your confidence, your strength. So how secure is my QA job? Depends if you can upgrade before being asked. So it is always easy for someone to come and say, you know what, why don't you learn this? Why don't you do that? Your team manager, your agile program manager or scrum master will come and say, oh, did you look at Cypress? Did you look at Catalog? How about Stack Overflow or Browser Stack? Why don't you do this? But why don't you go and try and upgrade a little bit on your side, learn a little GitHub Jenkins and try it. So how can you secure a job? All by proactively learning, but practice on your application. So while we get into today's session, one of the first things we will do is identify the application under test. We will write few manual test cases. And then I wanted to do a little bit of Ide WebDriver. This is day 1 to day 5 team. So it'll take a little time, so bear with me. I think we'll get there. And please do note, I will slow my speech at certain times when I feel it is necessary for you to focus on that concept. Most of things that I'm speaking are things you're aware. It's just to get back it to your attention. Do I stand a chance as a beginner? This is another very, very critical question, team. At this moment, a teen can compete with a 40-plus-year-old. Believe in it. There may be QA with 10 years who lost a job for an SDET Trained with 3 months. Sure. Maybe the salary expectations are also were lesser for a beginner and so on. It's not necessarily about the age, team. It is not necessarily about how old is your experience. So age, experience, it is not mattering. It is almost like we have, all of us have a fresh slate of Earth. In fact, the whole global planet looks like, okay, it looks different. It looks like now we're coming into a new realization, new understanding of how things gonna be. I've been training online for the last 12 years, team, since 2008. I love it. I do it out of passion. And that is why I could stay on this application automation. Not so much, I would say, testing, because once you automate, you'll know the QA job becomes beautiful, team. There is so much you can do within it. And so that is what inspires me. You need to find your calling. Once you're there, I want you to set yourself with it. So we have training days, just to make sure you're in sync. This is Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So please look at it from your local time, and we will finish it in about 5 weeks. We need 25 sessions. If I miss anything, I'll update the GoToWebinar updates. So that way you get everything. All right. So now what is it that I want to do today, and what do we have for future? And then we'll get started. So training topics for today, team. Day 1 to day 5. So in this case, I'll start with day 1. And let's talk about a few things there. And then there are topics for day beyond. Let's not go there. I have one neat thing. I just want to write a Selenium WebDriver code that gets me the course titles on the new OTT or code ITeLearn. And that will be the AUT. I've thought about it, team, and it may sound repetitive why we're using. This is something that we really need to test. And I want that to be done as automation. And instead of me doing it independently, why don't I teach you how I'm doing it? We'll take the baby steps and we will learn coding and what to install, how to work through the sessions. And anytime, raise your hand. I will unmute you, make you presenter, and try and resolve anywhere you're stuck in. So the reason I write some of these words is it is not practically easy to say that, okay, I promise you everything, but just the fact that we can try everything, we will not shy away from attempting, because this is what we do. Big text, let's get it 100% so we can see a little bit more spent. Any feedback, questions so far? Now I'm going to go into the topics. Now the day one, primarily the step one. So this is all under day one. I'm going to put a date also to it. So you know this is 9th July. Now what first thing I want to do is talk about the AUT. At the end of it, we need to do QA testing. And let's understand what we are talking about QA testing. Now, I'm not going to go into basics of software testing and too much on Selenium Ide right now. Is that okay? And for some of you who want to, then please go to the website, look at the SDET for beginners. That's a good one to start. And intro to IT, manual QA, automation thumb rules, IDE, framework concepts. This is the basic overview. A good 10 hours program. I think it's free for everyone to see. Okay. Any feedback, questions so far? Anyone? Let me look at the audience once. What's happening with the audience? Who's alert? Who's not? I have a great tracking thing that GoToWebinar says, that says when attendee does not have the viewer in foreground. So basically, when you go away from your tab, so I can see 3 people right now who have not on that, like Aziz, Mark, and Sandeep are seeing a different thing. And these are part of a program team. Just participate with it. Any questions, let me know, please. Okay, so now what I want to do is very simple. So here's my need. Write a Selenium WebDriver code that does a certain thing. Let me explain what I want to do. Then we will talk about the QA testing part. Then I will talk about maybe Selenium IDE, install and do. Then we will do Java, JDK, Eclipse. And then I'll do Selenium WebDriver. Oh, so let's try and work on these action items. Okay, so these are the important ones first. All right. How about CSGT from old website to learn Selenium? Sure, to learn Selenium. Yeah, Neelam, and if you can, any old website links that you see are good, so please share it into the new one. Send an email or something, we'll put it there. Certified Selenium Developer Training Team. I've been passing this message for so long. Why someone needs to learn frameworks, automation. That message somehow didn't get carried, but now it is. So, I'm seconds away. It's a live sessions. It's not like I prepared it for a video background. So, right. There we go. So application on test. Now let's explore, team. The first thing that I would typically do when I'm given a task. Now here is a simple thing, team. Someone developed, launched a new online school. Right? They want you to take a look as you are in QA. You want to go the extra mile. Now that's the, think of that as your background. Now what do you do? Open it in a private browser. I'm not going to write any more notes here. It's all going to be more explaining. Why is it going to print? And so I went to an incognito window. So Control Shift N, keyword, keyboard shortcut, or 3 dots and new incognito window. And I'm going to go to the website go.ITeLearn. Now this is my application URL. I'm going to put that here. And I'll say my URL is so. Now this document is already getting crowded. I don't want to put that here. I already created a folder called July SDET QA so and so in the trainings. So you will have access to this, but anyway, I'm going to put it along with the video. In the same folder, I will try and add code, everything that we do here till we move to GitHub where we can put everything online. You can access in a different way. Under this folder, I'm going to send plus and I'll create a Google Sheet. So let's talk about what is it that I want to do. And I want to put those steps in there. That is what manual testing is. Very ad hoc basic testing is basically saying, okay, this is the website. Good, I see this, I see some title, all looks great. And the primary thing you need to first classify is let me do unhighlight. None is good. And a little zoom will be better now. So what did I want to say? Easier. So break it down into two segments for QA. First is UI, the look and feel of it. Next is functionality. And let's take a closer look at what I mean by UI. UI I mean, do I see the logo? Do I see this? Do I see the video? Is it playing? Do I see link text as basic and so on? Everything looks good, nothing is broken and so on. I'll click here. Is it going to the next page and so on? So you're basically verifying for labels, tags, headings, titles, field names, images, videos, colors, blah, blah, blah. And that's the scope of it. Now, those are the common things for any application. A functionality is specific. What can the user do? The user can sign up. The user can log in. The user can view courses. The user can change password. So many features that the user can do. That's the functionality part. So you at the beginning level have to be clear about what part you want to do. So let's do a combination of functional and UI testing. I'm not specifically saying that I want to do one or not. So let's talk about a scenario. Most importantly, I'll say, okay, what are all your courses? So I want to go to all courses and list down what is the first course, second course, third course, maybe fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and look at them individually. So how do I look? I have to click on each of them and then go and look what access do I have for that. And I see, okay, there's a preview here, so I can see this course. Makes sense. Maybe I don't have enough time to do all of that. All I want to do is click on it, maybe capture the title or this heading tag, and come back and go to the next couple of 4 courses, these 4 live courses, and do it. Okay, that's my requirement. That's what I want to do. That's all I want to do now. So from a QA testing, we have to write a test scenario. How much time do we have? Now, test scenario is talking about those steps, what we want to do, how we want to do. And you can write it in a simple Excel, you can write it in a text file, you can write it in an ALM or Jira and so on. There's so many tools for it. But the concept to make sure is the coverage as to what you want, you expect. How does it look? Now, you might go into the page and say, you know what, I don't think this is right. When I click here, there is a dot here. But then my friend who's the developer of this might say, you know what, the dot is as expected. That's functionality. So I'll say, okay, that's fine. So I don't know which ones. I don't know which ones to prioritize. So this coverage, what you expect, how does it look? So we'll talk about a little scope. We'll not do everything. So we'll take some sample scenarios. So more like a smoke test. Smoke test fundamentally meaning to a concept team. I don't know how many of you are aware. The word itself came more from, or you can relate to that, of industrial manufacturing, not industrial, electrical equipment, electronic equipment, rather. It's where they have semiconductors, chips, processors, any kind of electrical device that like a radio, transistor, television, and so on. So earlier, if they're not plugged when circuits go wrong, they start smoking. They start giving, fumes and may light up on fire. So one of the final tests that people do before actually releasing it in the production line is to just plug that small device like a roaster or any device that we have to make, especially electrical devices, into the plug, switch it on and see and smell for smoke and see does it smell like smoke or no. If it does not smell like smoke, then it is good, or it go no. So that's pretty much what we want to do. Now, why automation will be a very important question to you. There are 3 thumb rules, and these thumb rules will become easy for you to understand as you go on. It should do 3 things for me. 1, it should be efficient. It should be faster than a regular user, reusable, and accurate. So faster than manual, lesser time to maintain and so on. Once I make it, I should be able to repeat the same thing without having to too much change things. And it should be predictable, just like a car manufacturing or any device or Apple production facility and so on. Now comes the Selenium IDE. So Selenium IDE is a question to all. Is it okay if I skip Selenium IDE, which is nothing but a simple add-on in your Google browser? No, actually, why should I skip? Where I can say record a new test in a new project. I'll give this project a name. So the name of this project is Go IT, and say OK. And the base URL is the application's main URL. I put this, but is that my base URL, everyone? I don't think, because it is going to an inner page within it. This will be my base URL, https:// and so on. Start recording. When we do that, it basically launches the application, and in almost like an incognito mode, and you see the Selenium recording mode out here it is highlighted blinking. It is recording. So basically it's an instruction saying, hey user, I'm ready to now understand what steps you're performing, and I'll capture them here. That is what is telling us. So what is most important here, team, are these 3 fields. So before I continue with the recording, first is the command, next is the target, third is the value. For any automation to work, we need these 3 fields. Command is basically what to do. Give me an instruction. You want me to shoot, I'll shoot. You want me to duck, I will duck. You want me to crawl, I'll crawl. But more from a web UI perspective. What does that mean? You want me to click using a mouse? You want me to type using a keyboard? You want me to get the text that I see? So those are the commands that we're talking about. And then we have a target. Okay, sounds good, but where should I shoot? Where must I click? Where should I click on that link or enter my username or enter password? Where should I perform the above command? That's what we're looking at. And then is the value. Value is like test data or information that is needed. So if I have to click on something, I'll say where I have to click. But if I have to type something, I have to tell type at this element, and also this is the username or this is the password. So I have to be more and more explicit. Those are exactly those three columns here: command, target, value. So one is doing what to do, where to do, and any data that I need to put into to execute that specific command. IDE is very simple, team. It will let you play around. It has a good UI, but we will focus on WebDriver because no one will interview on IDE so much in an interview as well. And that's been a fact almost from its creation. It is a playground to get started. It is not a development area so much. While it's coming up with new features of loops and conditions and so on, I think it's still good with other things. Let's see. Okay, back. Where am I? I'm here. So it's still trying to record, but why didn't it record anything? I did not perform any action on the browser it opened. This is the browser that it opened to you. So let me get back to the regular one. Now let us say I click here. Do you notice that there are some specific commands coming in here? The first one is open, set window size, click, and then it'll continue further. So I'm just going to say SDET, and then I will click on this icon here. And I've come to a page. Maybe I'll click on this here. And then look at what I will do, team. I will right click. Who launched this browser? I did not. Selenium Ide launched it because I gave that as my launch URL. See, that is my launch URL. So when I say open and give this target, it is adding this target to the launch URL at the end, like this, like a slash, // and that is how it is going. If you want /p/something to go to a different URL, that is what you'll put in target. Selenium opened this. So now it is under Selenium's record control. So if I right click on this and say, I will see one new option called Selenium Ide. And in here, there's something very interesting that we can do. And that is what testing is all about. We can assert if this text is present, assertion, or verify that this text is present, or store, or wait for this text to appear and so on. So I'm just going to say assert that this text is present. I'm not so serious about assertions or verifications here. We will do that directly using our condition statements in Java. At this time, let's close the browser. Close, nice. And I'll stop the recording. So that's my first test case. I'll say PC01, just play. I just played around, correct? So that's the name, and that's gone in there. Now let's repeat this. Let's execute this, team. One of the first things I want to do is reduce the speed. Now you'll notice, team, this UI for Selenium Ide has a lot of things. Not very complex like other UIs, but it just has a project and different tests and subcategories under it. Your execution mode here, just your file controls, where you see each and every step, the step numbers, the command target value. When I click on a specific step, it'll show me that details here. I can change that. So this is more like the edit option for it. And down below is log. So when I run this test, you'll see what is coming there under the log. Makes sense, everyone, so far? Can I get a quick confirmation? Are you all with me while I run this code? So now I'm going to run this code. And team, if you know QA or coding or Selenium or Java or frameworks, does not really matter. For me, all that is important is you follow my lectures day one to day end and repeat what I'm doing. Try and focus on the same scope. There's a lot to learn. And the easiest way is to just stick to limited scope, not in terms of coding and so on. We will do a lot of it, but more in terms of application crowd. Okay, great. How did you turn on Selenium Ide? I get a question. How did I turn on Selenium Ide? So what I did or tried to do was on the Chrome browser, I see the Selenium option, see? So if I go to this 3 dots here and I go to more tools and I check for extensions and I search for Selenium Ide or Selenium, you'll see this. So if it's not already installed, you can install it on your machine. Now it's installed, so I can remove it. It's not needed. And I clicked on this icon that is visible. Okay, so that is how I did. Now let's run this test. It's opening the browser. Let's maximize it for our benefit. I want to see first what happens on the application. I don't want to see what happens on the Selenium IDE. Oh, nice. It typed SDET. I thought it was taking too much time, so maybe it failed. Sometimes I'm a little skeptical. Okay, great. You know, this is the wonder of Selenium IDE. At least inspiringly when it got created almost 8-9 years back or a little around that. It's so simple. It says to me, which one is a pass or a fail? Green, all green. So how do I know which is a fail? I'll go here and I'll say this course is course new curriculum. I changed what I'm expecting there. And I will rerun this. And team, don't none of these things affect SEO and so on when we do automation runs. It's primarily our there you go. See, nice. And assertion stopped me from going to the next one. That's why it is left like this. See, close. It didn't perform close. And all these details we can see in the log. Now I want to do the same exact same thing in Eclipse team. Do we have enough time and a little energy is all I need? Then we'll get started. Okay, how can we do this here? Is it okay? Can I show you that on Eclipse now? I got a good question. I'll answer that before I go there. Why IDE is outdated and company don't use it nowadays? In fact, team, now it's not now. IDE has always been outdated since its birth. When I started, it was Selenium remote control, Selenium server we had to manually launch, and so on, with IDE, of course. It was always just something to play and experiment, but real projects was always done on Selenium WebDriver, Grid, Eclipse, or Eclipse is just an IDE. So a couple of quick notes, then I'll start. There we go. So team, very simple. Search and install for latest Java. Same thing for Java development kit. Now, does anyone need help with this? It is as simple as latest. Okay, don't do anything. Java development kit. Oopsie. Control C, open Google, Control V, download. That's it. Don't have to worry about anything. Go to oracle.com, get the latest one. You will see Java special edition development kit 8 download is here. Take the latest one depending on your operating system. So mine is a Windows 64, so I can download this. Let me get the latest kit. It will be there. I'll not install it right now, but it will be there with me if I want to. Now, Oracle actually may ask you to sign in. Earlier it was not. So Eclipse, again, same thing. Eclipse download. It will take you directly. You can go to eclipse.org also. The same eclipse.org/downloads, I guess. And there we go. IDE 2020-06. So each version comes. Now, what is the difference? Difference is basically very simple. Java is like the core engine team. like a car engine, let us say. It's got what it is. Now, Java development kit is like a mechanic shed. You have the specific tools to see, fix, and so on. You can program, you can create, you can manufacture cars also if you're very interested. Eclipse is basically not a mechanic shed. Yeah, Eclipse is like a automated showroom. What am I trying to say? This is more like a dashboard or a fully customized car. So Eclipse helps you to drive this car with ease steam. You don't have to go through where is my clutch, where is gear, how does the clutch work, how does the gear change, which parking, brakes, acceleration, fuel, every indicator is there in the dashboard, all in the driver's controls. So all that went into, that's the main logic, that's the engine, is the main driving thing. Then we put a body over it to make it easy. That's Eclipse. Eclipse Ide, it's integrated development environment. My English is not really a US based or it's a very neutral one. My daughter makes so much fun out of it. No, it's not this. You gotta speak different. It's fine. Live with it. I try and change, but the consciousness is still there. I'm making a sincere effort with some words. Could you please add me to the Google Doc shared by email? There's no Google Doc shared by email. What Google Docs? I don't know. If Priya shared, please. So who shared with you? I don't know, Priya. So can you please reach out? Team, anything not related to the class, can you please keep it offline? It disturbs me from the regular schedule. Okay. Selenium WebDriver code. Now, I'm not going to again go back to this document. Let's go. And the first thing you do is go and launch Eclipse. Eclipse is where you can write your Java code and easily maintain. So I have my Eclipse launched already. This is where I do a lot of my research and work, the multiple projects. The first thing I need to let you know is that this is a workspace. IDE is the integrated development environment, okay, where I can do multiple works on different projects. Everything is nicely highlighted. I have line numbers, good console. So it's very interactive with me. It helps me to make applications faster and so on. Now, in this, what I do is I create a workspace. Under a workspace, I can create multiple projects. And each project can have multiple files within it, Java files and so on. So workspace is like almost like a directory. So I'm going to create a new workspace for this. Did I already create or no? File. So once you get it, and only do those what I'm showing you. If you start going into the depth of it, there's no end. Let's finish what is in scope. That is the only way to learn complex things. One bit very well at a time. File new Java project. No, sorry, I missed a step. Let's switch the workspace. Workspace is like a desk. I want to do certain things on this desk. Art here, math there, physics there, like that. Books distributed. So I'll say switch workspace, and I'll say this training SDET November 2019 and so on. Different training ones. I'll say other. I'll browse. I want to keep all the files that we'll do in the local folder, C drive, training. And I'll say this is July 2020 QA SDET. And team, a lot of people are not even aware of the word what is SDET. So team, just to let you know, it's software development engineering test. Someone who's not necessarily expected to know testing well, but definitely should know coding very well. So they've previously been a developer, done coding, been part of project development, and then wants to now pursue a career in QA. So done. So I'm going to select this folder. All right, and say launch. Eclipse is going to close and relaunch on this new workspace team. That is where you'll have the base. The first thing that we will do is simple Java code first. Then we will write a simple Selenium WebDriver code. And then we will progress team. See how easy it will be. Anytime, don't run into jumping in, don't jump into writing complex codes. It may confuse you a lot. Still launching. We did about, I think, 35 minutes into the sessions. It was 40 minutes. I think 20 minutes, we should be able to do this. So the last 20 minutes of the session, hopefully, will be interesting. Can you please hold on for a couple of seconds, team? I've got something quickly to attend to. I will also pause the recording, please, if you don't mind. Okay, so where were we? Let me quickly look. So we wanted to put that Selenium Ide code in here. Where is that IDE? So we kind of click. We did a few things. I'm not too interested in that. I'm going to try and create here. So I'm going to close this welcome. You don't need this welcome. And this is how typically things will look when you start. Let's start with file. And through the whole process of the training, please do note that you will focus a lot on repeating the same. We'll keep on creating new projects, adding this. So we'll repeat a lot of stuff to you. So though I might introduce you to a few stuff right now, we will repeat so that all the important stuff, you'll see them plenty of times. So in the 25 hours, we'll cover a lot. So new Java project. So I'm going to call this as SWD test. I just want it to be a test software web dev, Selenium WebDriver test. Okay, and say finish. Now, the reason I'm able to say finish is already I know what my runtime environment is, my JDK, everything is associated with it. It's taking the default stream once you've done this. If any of you have issues through the process, show me in one of the live sessions. I'll quickly help you to resolve. Make it as enter and we can do that. I'm gonna quickly say finish. Nothing much that I need. No module name. Don't create. I don't need any modules right now. Has encountered what? Nothing. Okay, so typically this is what I expect. I didn't know what that error message was all about. And please note, this is very important for me to write down that you will learn a lot through errors. So there will be, manual, syntax. Manual is human, basically. Human errors that we will make, syntax errors, and runtime errors. So you'll understand the difference. It is so interesting, this field. I'm surprised why so many of you are still afraid of it. Okay. Now, this is like a folder structure. Where is this created? It looks like a folder structure, right? So if I right click on my SWD test and I say show in, so a lot of features out here. We'll use plenty of them, but either here or from here. Right now, let's go to show in and click on System Explorer. What it does, it will open up our Windows Explorer. It will take me to the directory. So all that I will do is in this folder. This metadata was added for Eclipse, so it knows what are the details of this workspace project. Now, SWD test, the main thing is the SRC. SRC is nothing but the source folder where I'm putting all the source code into. So now, under the same source folder, I'm going to right click and say new Java class. Though it says only class, it's primarily a Java class team because this Eclipse is for Java. Eclipse IDE is also there for, I believe, C++ and so on. C#, I mean, and other things, but it's in Python, but it's more popular for this. So now it's my first step. I'll say test Java 1. I want to see if a simple Java program works, then I can do a Selenium WebDriver. And one of the most important things that a Java program comes with is the main method. So this will become the building blocks. Everything else, leave it as is. Public, don't worry about extract, final, all of these options. We will change them at a code level. So it is giving you option to quickly create, but you don't have to always use all the options. That is why I think it's very busy IDE, Eclipse. See, now what it did is it building workspaces encountered a problem, details, null pointer exception. That is surprising. I haven't seen this, but I'll have to research on that once. Are you able to hear me okay, team? Okay, that's fine. So it's created a subfolder as WD test, and under that is Java 1.java. So same structure should also be reflected here. Now what I did is I accidentally moved that into the default package also. So I'll rename this. So rename, right click and say refactor. That will become rename. All these features we will keep on reusing. I don't want a package right now, teams. I'm going to delete this. But it is not. Look. Let's redo this. I don't know why it's coming up. It's a problem with Eclipse. Sometimes, again, Eclipse is an application. It has its own issues. So I've seen it failing plenty of times, at least 4 or 5 times a year. It kind of does fail. Couple of chat messages. Let me look at them. It's performing the action, but it's giving me the pop-up. Okay. So default package, I don't need a default package, right? Click src new class, which is a Java class. And here, see, package is, it is giving me a package. I'll delete this. I don't want to talk about the package. Why is it taking it into package? That's fine. It's package one. So at least that will be clear. What was it? Test Java 1. And then, so I don't need that. Now I can delete it. Yeah, it was just giving for this. Test Java 1 public and then main. So no package team. I deleted the package it gave by itself. So finish. So if I do that, it is come down here into the default package. That is where it is. So I don't need any package to import. This is the simplest code you will see in Java. Let me kind of introduce you to what you're seeing, then we'll do further. Font size looks a little less, team. So what I'll do in Eclipse IDE, right click on this members, and I believe I can go to preferences, colors and font, just say edit, and I'll increase this font to 14. So that way you can see this code better. So apply and close. These are the benefits that Eclipse IDE does. Otherwise, the same code is also there in your regular folders. You can go here, source, and open this in Notepad, but it doesn't have features like highlights, features like line numbers. Hence, it is easier to kind of stick with Eclipse. Okay, good. This is the name of the class team, test Java 1. Why is it public? Just that it does not have too many restrictions. What is a class? We will cover later. As of now, just that everything will come under one class. Now comes a method. What is a method? Is like a function. We call a function. It will do something. Just be aware that we need a main method for any Java program. So I will say that every Java program needs a main method. Now, what is this? There is a bunch of Java code and then a code that I wrote. It is a commenting. It is a text. It is something for my reference or other team members' reference when they see, or my students when they see, I want them to know. In Java, when I want to make a line not recognized as a Java code, I put 2 forward slashes in front of it. It automatically says that, you know what, it's just a comment, ignore it. Every other statement should have specific meaning, should have a specific structure and syntax. That is what Java is very popular. Now let's write a program. So anything with a program, I'll talk about first. Start my program. End my program. The team, plenty of core Java tutorials on go.itelearn.com. You should visit, take a look. But let's take basic, quick look how we can get to Selenium WebDriver. So this is a Java code team. Now, does this line spaces mean anything? No, it's just a message that I'm planning to put something else in between here maybe. But for Java, it does not matter anything. Let me explain the syntax of this. That is called the syntax, or how it's formed. This whole text that you see has a specific meaning for Java. Whatever I give in the brackets inside the double quotes, it will take that message and print it out onto our display, something called console that we make. So when I'm ready to test this, all I do is run the code. So you can save and run or just click on run. Now, before I do that run team, I just want to make sure that I don't want to see an overcrowded IDE. Unless I want to use a feature, I will close it. I'm not writing my tasks here as to what I want to do today, tomorrow. I have other ways to do it. I'll close that. Outline of anything, I'll close this. So now I can see more code and what I want. This is a decent UI perspective. You can change what blocks and so on, but that's fine. You can keep changing the perspectives. Just keep it simple. Simple. Now let's run the program. What does it say? It's save and launch. I did not save my program before launch. It says save all. I mean, select all and save all. I'll say always save resources before launching. So save it automatically. Why should I do it each time? This is a question mark. It's not running the code. Class not found exception. What happened to it totally? Let's recreate without talking much the whole thing and see where I made a mistake. I'll say SWD test 2. That's a new Java project. When I wrote SWD test, it gave me, see this message, you can't have the same name. So make sure it's duplicate. Say finish. Done. No module in this. Don't create. It gives me this detail. So what I will do, team, I will quickly restart Eclipse after this. It should work. Where am I? So source. Now I'll right click on SRC and say new Java class. And I'll say test Java program 1. No package. Create a main method. Finish. Keep getting this message. So, and when I get these messages, I don't feel worried at all. I'll see. I'll definitely figure out a solution to it. But I'm only thinking it's a restart. Created a new workspace, something got jumbled. And let's run this one now. No, it's not doing. So I think overall I did everything correct. Save. And I'm going to restart Eclipse. Did anyone else face something similar? Name of the class, uppercase, lowercase, I was using camel case. So it starts with, it's all lowercase except the first character of from second word, or first character except for the first word is uppercase. Just relaunching. Let's see. Tick, 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 tick. What else? Let's see where we are meanwhile. We open so many browsers, I get lost myself. Okay, so we're doing this and Simple Selenium WebDriver code we need to do. Once the Java code works, Selenium WebDriver code should be easy. So July 2020 QA SDET. This is the right workspace. So let's take that. I'm reopening the same workspace team. We're not recreating a new workspace. It's not a workspace issue. I don't even know what issue. I didn't even give enough focus on it. I will this time. All right, so this is how it looks when I restart it. Welcome, close it. I should see my projects on the left side. SWD test is there. SWD test 2 also is there. I have my source. JRE system library, both of these are the internal Java classes that have been built for making sure you have access to the most commonly used functionality. So let's create, there is one already, default package, Java program. Let's close these first. So right click and say close all. It closes all of them. I'll open the one I want. So I know where I am. Let's run. Come on. Let me do one thing. Let me just, a couple of things. Either way we'll fix it. Why don't I switch back to the other one, workspace, any not, and do it in there. So that's a pretty large project team. Once you get into live project and so on, you'll be able to get into it. In fact, before I get into what is a DDF, as an explanation, where did I write DDF? DDF? Somewhere I wrote. We will write a linear functional decomposition and then DDF frameworks or data-driven framework. See, there's nothing that we touched on the application so far. In fact, some of the good automation tools don't really bother about the application. It's the same for everything. So let's say I go to file, new Java project, and I say SWD1 finish. I don't need a module. I'll just create it. Whatever. Don't create is better. I don't need. Let's search this. Oops, what did I type here? What we see? There's an issue, team. Some issue. Let me install the latest one, team. I don't know what is the issue. I'm honestly not sure. But I did get that error, so I'll search. Error running Java Builder Stack Overflow 2016. Let's see. Got corrupted. How will my metadata get corrupted? Using Gradle or Maven, then first code. Wow. It's almost like going to an expert doctor and knowing advice that something is not happening. Can I switch to a different machine and do the same there? I think it's working here. Now let's see if my others works. Any of these are working. Not is working. There's no issue here. It's only for the new one. Team, sorry, I'll take it to day 2. I'm thinking only new workspace I did. What else? Shall we create it here? One of these packages. I'll delete it later. All right. So let me create it here. It'll have everything already installed. I wanted to show you how I install Selenium WebDriver and so on. Let's do SWD test 1. Okay, it's the main and finish. First thing I'll do is just see if it can print anything. So print this and run this code. Always launch without asking because that's a different related. So there you go. So I got this message thing. So that's good sign finally. Now let's get going. I don't know why it was not working together. End program. And start. 5 minutes, I'll write the code. Now, one of the most important things, team, that we need for this is called the Selenium WebDriver. So let me take a page and explain to you. So what is happening is, what does Selenium really do? I have a Java code out here, okay? Or a Python code, or a C#, whatever. And I have a different type of browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Opera, Mozilla. No, Mozilla is already there. IE, Edge, and so on. Right? So Selenium WebDriver, like the name says, it helps us to connect to these browsers. That is what it does. And for each browser, it has a different WebDriver file. So it has a Selenium overall. One is WebDriver, and then it has something for Chrome called Chrome driver, or a Firefox driver, and so on. So there are 2 things that you need to download. Just search, you'll be able to easily download Selenium WebDriver. Go to selenium.io, is it the new website? It was Selenium HQ or something. What's the new website? Selenium. .dev. Okay, sorry. And then downloads. That's primarily where it is. So Selenium server, also called grid. So that's the one you'll use. And Chrome driver is out here. You have to pick based on your current version. So my version of Chrome browser is 83, and you're going to do the same. So click on the 3 dots on the top right to look at your version, and that is the driver you want. So there are 3 versions right now. Earlier they used to have only 1 version, but doesn't matter. Look at your one and get them. Now once you do that, add them to the Eclipse project. So under Java build path, I will show this to you very clearly later, team. Primarily, let us assume this was the project, and if I did not have the Selenium WebDriver and Chrome download, I cannot do certain things. So I right click here, ignore every other code that you see, team. Just focus on this code. I'm going to actually close everything else. Close all tabs to the left. We're just on the SWD test. So if I right click here, observe this team. We need to see this very clearly. Right click, scroll all the way down, and go to properties. And primarily, we're going for Java build path. What that is basically saying is there are certain libraries that are needed. Now, like in this diagram, Java needs different libraries to interact with different providers. For Selenium, it needs different. For Excel, it needs different. For APIs, it needs a different. Each of these libraries come with their own built-in stuff. We will come to it. Let's focus on WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is one of the libraries that is already loaded in here. And so is Chrome driver that is there in a link. So somewhere my Chrome driver will be there locally. Now for me, just to start, I'll say WebDriver Ide. This is basically declaring my browser driver. So that is where I will use this call. Now it could be pretty much not easy for someone who does not know what a WebDriver is to see, but it's primarily a class team. A class that talks about what can be contained under it, what can happen through it. When we say WebDriver Ide and colon, that is a definition. We're creating something, but there's a red underline. The reason why it is Eclipse IDE helps you, assists you. Take your mouse over it, and you will see that there's an import WebDriver missing into this code. While everything in your package is there, you need to specifically import that this code needs to use this import. And anything related with it, we keep writing. I'm writing the code the way I know, just to get started, and we can run our first test. Then we'll spend plenty of time on coding from there. So here, basically, system.set property, another statement that is very important. You will not master this code. You'll basically keep looking at this code and running it and only make certain changes to it. There are two things. I'm saying that my webdriver.chrome.driver actually is on a specific location. So if I had downloaded this, for example, Windows 32 will work for Windows 64 also, so that will be protected. Showing folder. So I got this. I will go to my C drive and say C drive drivers. I already have a Chrome driver. I don't know how recent this is. It seems recent only, team. So I can replace it if I want. Or just get this path. Paste this path and say the name of it. What is the name of the path? Chrome driver.exe. I know you didn't see all that name. I was doing it fast from my end. But predominantly, it is where it is residing. And I end the sentence with a semicolon. All your Java statements, every logical statement to tell Java that, hey, I'm done with this line, now go to the next line, comes here. So primarily, if I just comment the system.set property or even keep it and run the code as is, I don't think it will do anything except for printing these lines. So print this line, so and so, and it's really not done any action on it. Action will come when I say my driver that I created, my D, equals to new Chrome driver. I have to say if it is pointing to Chrome and so on. Here is the definition. I'm saying it is generically my D. Or I can put it here. Now you can also do it in one line. I can say my D equals to new Chrome driver. And that's fine too. Either option is fine. So, but only one declaration you cannot do. Now I have a red line over Chrome driver. Why? Though I got the Selenium WebDriver, for Chrome specifically, again, there are sub packages. So Selenium WebDriver split, saying that overall WebDriver here, but Chrome you have something, Firefox you have something, Edge you have something. So take your mouse over it, import, and then you will see that's got added here. See how the import statements are coming up nicely. So Eclipse is really helping us. helping us to write this code is. Now it is set. I have the total control to the application. I can do whatever I want with that application. So let me put this there. So whenever I say MyD, it will always point to now. When the program runs on line 17, it will point to a Chrome driver. So if I say, and in fact, by this time it would have opened the Chrome driver also. If I say MyD dot, I will see different things I can do. Things like close the browser that is open. Maybe it does. Let me see if it opens and closes the browser. If everything goes well, it will say start program, open browser, close browser, and end program. Perfect. There you go. So anything wrong in these steps, it's a problem. Now, this close browser is the final thing that I want to do. I'll keep it at the end. Now I want to write a few steps here. What do I want to do? One, go to the application and test. Two, click on whatever we're doing in Selenium Ide. Click on search courses. Type a course. And then verify. Now team, this may take a little bit of time. Overall, how it works, how it develops, for you to digest. And please do trust and believe me in one thing, we will repeat this often. You will feel comfortable when we keep doing the same. How do I go to that application? Very simple. I'll say MyD.navigate to no more dot actually, and the URL of it. I'll say the URL is there. So instead of writing everything there, let's define some variables up ahead. I'll say string VURL equals https://go.ITeLearn.com. And semicolon. So this section I can keep for definition. So in fact, WebDriver MyD also, let's move it there. Now, do note team, you cannot declare it twice. At the same time, if you don't declare it, you cannot use it anywhere. So you have to have that flow. Let's look at our code once again, what it is doing so far. And then here I'm saying put that variable VURL. Main, go to this website, print the start program. Team, another 2 minutes, I'll stop this session. MyD.close, and let's see. See, so how easy is it? There's no complication at all, team. A little bit logic will come and so on. So it's waiting for the page to load nicely and then quickly it closes. It doesn't want to do anything else. What is it that we want to do? We want to do a couple of things. So let me run it again, but this time I commented line 29. So that way it will not close. So while the execution is happening, it will go to the page but not do a closure. So once the program is done, I should still be able to see the browser. Okay. So now what is it that I want to do? I want to click on all courses. So for this, do you see the name of this? It is all courses. So the easiest way, I'll say click on all courses first. I don't see a search there. MyD dot first thing is find element. Now this is replicating Selenium Ide. When I say MyD, is basically saying where in the browser what I want to do and using what methodology. That is called by. I will explain each of this again, just a quick one to get to where we are. In by a method called link text. And all I'll say is this is all courses. I'm assuming this will work. I'm not even sure. Okay, so I see the link here called all courses. Okay. Now I wanted to go and click on this. And once it comes to all courses, then I wanted to enter something here. At least for today, team, let's see if it at least does that part to go till all courses. Type a code, then we have another step 2.1. No, actually, no. Course in search and verify course. And I'm not closing the browser, so we should be able to navigate to that page. So only 2 steps basically that we did. It went to the home page. Now it clicked on all courses. Nice, nice. It's gone to this page. And primarily, if it's end program, that it means it's all done. What if I want to do something? What if I want to do something like a print the title of it? So first I've gone to the home page, correct? So here I'll print the title. So I'll say myD dot what am I doing? Get title. Yeah, it's on the, and let's print this. I'm using a shortcut for now, team. I'll go very slow in the second session. I'll do a good recap. So what I'm doing is I'm just not navigating. Once I navigate, I'm also trying to get the title and print it. And the same, I'm doing it here. So each time I'm going to a new page, I want to at least get the title of it. See, so how we're progressing. We're adding one after the other, one after the other. And never will we know if it's doing it correctly or not. You'll have to keep doing it as a series of repeats. Did it do something? Okay, it did. And it didn't close the browser, so it'll keep on opening and keeping your browsers open, team. So that's myD.close. And then, in fact, there's myD.quit. I'll explore, tell that later. So these are the 2 titles. First, it said welcome to ITeLearn, then it says ITeLearn on the next page. So we will now continue to explore further on this. Wow, long session. Thank you for your patience. So many of you still present. Really appreciate it. Let me see how many of you are inactive. Just 2 or 3 of you, 4 or 5 of you are inactive. But thank you others for really staying streamed and going through this. I wanted you to get to this level. From now, we can build a lot. And this is just day 1. So we'll repeat this a lot. We will go through again. We will build an awesome data-driven framework, then keyword, then POM, then we'll go to CI/CD. Sure, great. Thank you everyone for joining in. Next class is from Monday, and I'll update it on GoToWebinar. Same links for the next 3-4 sessions, and then we may go to a private one later. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hey, and by the way, I sent an email out. There's a Java for Kids thing. If you have little ones who want to attend, not really little ones, or if you feel that you are at that level that I don't mind looking at Java from that perspective, look at it. Yes, it's odd timing because there are a lot of schools in India which are interested and they wanted to sign up. So I put a timing for them. But the live classes, once I do this orientation, I'll do it at a much better one. And all the members, of course, you're welcome to join. Thank you. Take care. Bye all.